The US President Donald Trump has slapped tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China. The tariff imposed on Canada and Mexico is to the tune of 25%, and on China they are 10%. This dangerous game of imposing tariffs, which the US has started, is a lose-lose game for all the parties concerned, which I will elaborate on later. Now, these countries, that is, China, Mexico, and Canada, have vowed retaliatory measures, that is, imposing counter-tariffs on US goods. These tariffs and counter-tariffs will hinder the flow of goods from one country to another, that is, trade will be affected. These measures are obnoxious for all the parties concerned. I will explain why. The iPhone, which is produced in India and China, if produced in America, will cost double the price. The labor charges and the component cost are much higher in America. So, as America is imposing tariffs on the countries in the hope of shifting manufacturing back to America, it will be very, very difficult. Apart from the higher cost of production, the facilities to manufacture goods take a lot of time to come on stream. Meanwhile, as the cost of imports rises, the demand will fall. Demand is inversely proportional to price. There will be a loss of production in other countries like China, Mexico, and Canada, and there will be a demand hit in America. A similar thing will happen in other countries, which will take countermeasures against American tariffs. So all around, the production will go down everywhere with these protectionist measures. There will be huge job losses. This might be beneficial for those countries on which the tariffs are not imposed, like India and Vietnam. But there is a catch. The full loss of production will be very difficult to compensate, and whatever production will shift to countries like India, it will take some time for the facilities of production to come up. In the second round of effects, the goods from countries like China will start flowing to other parts of the world. Second round effects are those effects which take place after the direct consequence of any measures. Countries affected by tariffs will start dumping their goods to other countries at throwaway prices. For example, the excess production of steel in China is finding its way to India, though India has imposed a tariff on Chinese steel. Then how is Chinese steel coming to India? It is coming through those countries which have a free trade agreement both with China and India. Countries like Japan lift a lot of steel from China, and the steel she is producing herself is exported to India. As a consequence, countries like India will have to hide behind the tariff walls. All the countries of the world will be affected, and the tariffs and non-tariff barriers will be raised throughout the world. This will affect world trade, and whatever was achieved through the WTO will be mitigated. There might be other side effects. The dollar index may rise, depreciating all the major currencies of the world. This may stoke inflation as the currencies depreciate. Interest rates may not come down and stay elevated for long. Imported inflation will be the norm. In the scenario of rising prices, growth will take a hit. As a consequence, share markets may also go down as the earnings will be squeezed. Share price of a stock is always the function of its earnings and growth. As the US imposes tariffs, other countries may move towards de-dollarization as a retaliatory measure and may start dumping the dollar. This will be a huge blow to the US and the world economy. We may return to the bad old days, when with the start of the Russian-Ukraine war, the inflation spiked, and with the inflation, the interest rates went through the roof, hitting growth and employment. Recession almost followed in Europe, and the world economy went into a tailspin. After almost 3 years of hard work, the situation is coming under control. If the above said scenario unfolds, it will again be very pernicious and painful for the world economy. So everybody should tighten their belts and pull up their socks. If you like my video, then like it, subscribe it, and share it.